Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast brought by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their company. I'm your host, Milan K, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Scott Simson, the CEO and founder of Graffiti Media, a full-service YouTube management and consulting agency based in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. His team delivers turnkey solutions from strategy and ideation to editing, uploading, and remote filming for solo entrepreneurs to enterprise-level businesses who seek organic growth on YouTube and stronger brand authority. With a decade of hands-on experience, they've generated over 1 billion views across client channels and driven more than 9 figures in revenue. With that being said, Scott, let me officially welcome you on Founders Future.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Beautiful. It's a pleasure to have you, man. Thank you for taking the time. We're going to jump into the conversation. What I love to do at the beginning of the episode is a bit of traveling back in time. So before you even had this company, what were you doing before? And then eventually, what was the motivation for starting the business?
So I've always been an entrepreneur. Always had. I am a problem solver. So I don't see problems. I see the opportunity for solutions when I encounter something that other people are struggling with. And it's always how my mind has worked. My wife and I wrote a couple books in 2009 and 2010 called Fox and the Mountain. We wrote a children's book, full illustrations, and we wrote one for teenagers and adults, which has chapters. And I used to travel and speak on the subjects of this book. It was a personal development book. And in 2014, my wife got pregnant with my son, and she's like, I need you here. And so at that point, I was like, okay, what can we do to get our message out to the world? And so we really started going deep on YouTube, putting content out there. And then slowly but surely that grew, and that we became full-time YouTubers in 2017. And then in 2019, we started this agency, Graffiti Media. And so we've been going 6 years strong, almost 7 years strong, and things have been phenomenal. We've experienced so much growth and met so many incredible people that it's just been a very rewarding journey that we've been on.
What a beautiful journey. It seems like this project almost chose you instead of you choosing the project. Just being curious, finding the solutions, and obviously you did something right. So beautiful. Awesome. Now, Scott, let's talk about where this journey got you overall. I'm pretty sure you, as any business owner, entrepreneur, there must have been a pivoting and adjusting way. But really, when it comes to the business day, my goal is to bring the audience close to, first of all, who is it exactly that you're trying to help right now, but also what offer that you have in place. What does the client journey look like? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so our core demographic that our target audience right now is contractors and tradesmen. We really like working with blue collar workers, plumbers, home builders, house flippers, interior designers. We've got a lot of experience with each of those different segments underneath the kind of blue collar or trade category. And really who we're looking for are people who know that they need to have more exposure, and they're in it for the long term. They're long-term minded, but they want video content that's working for them 24/7 on YouTube. And one of the big things that's actually happening right now that I don't think a lot of blue collar people understand is that with AI, there are a lot of jobs in the education space, a lot of jobs in the consulting and coaching space that are going to be disrupted, and there's going to be a need for a lot of trade jobs. And so over the course of the next 5 years, people who are in the trades are really going to want to pay attention to creating a moat around themselves and their personal brand, so that way they will be the first companies and contractors thought of when there's a huge influx of new contractors that kind of enter the market. So that's what we aim to help our tradesmen with.
I love it. I'm also curious, what was the thought process for you to really get specific with your niche and your urge to really work with these type of people? Because if you look at it from like general standpoint, you can pretty much work with anybody, right?
Yeah.
Everybody could use your help when it comes to this and building that portfolio and the presence on YouTube. What is it specifically about the blue collar companies and this segment that was so attractive to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I've worked with probably 70 different niches. The only niche we haven't really worked with was like the gaming niche, was we just weren't interested in it. But I've worked with marketers and entrepreneurs. We work currently with Russell Brunson in ClickFunnels, and we've worked with some of the other top people that everybody in the business industry knows. But when we were really trying to figure out which direction we should take more permanently and really dial in, we thought about who are our favorite people to work with. And generally it's tradesmen because they have a very visual job. We get to see progress, we get to see before and after shots. We get to be
Mhm.
taken on a journey. One of our biggest case studies was a company called or a YouTube channel called Twin Home Experts. And these guys they've got over 500,000 subscribers. When we started with them, they had 13,000 subscribers, and they just go into people's homes and tell a story, and they get to show themselves helping people in real time. And when we work with people in the business or coaching space, a lot of it just tends to be like very talking head oriented. And then the coaches and consultants we work with, they're let's just say probably 80% are focused on how much money they can make and not necessarily how many lives they can impact. And we find that's way different when we work with trades. They're just more pleasant to work with. They've got visual jobs, they work hard, and their content does really well.
I love this, man. Now, retrospectively looking back at all of those people that you had a chance to work with, what would you say is the average duration of you really working with a client so that you can really go through all of the stages and make sure that you set that client up for success in the future?
Yeah, we have contracts with all of our clients that typically start at 6 months. And we tell all of our clients it usually takes 4 to 6 months to start to see some results. Most of our most successful clients are people who stick it out for multiple years. And I usually tell anybody that we're prospecting, it's, hey, you need to plan on having this be a 5-year plan. Don't just jump in with the expectation of you're going to make a video today and you're going to have leads pouring in tomorrow. This isn't direct response marketing. It does take time. And our best clients, our best case studies we've ever had are people who understand that grind, and they have time horizons that extend into years as opposed to most people weeks or months.
Yeah. Based on what you just said, and also the conversation we had a couple of minutes ago with you focusing on the blue collar segment, it's quite obvious that you really are putting the alignment as number one priority in terms of making that decision of who am I going to end up working with and who not. I love that because essentially, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of people getting into this industry are basically saying yes to anything that is coming through the front door just to make some money, which is understandable, but at the same time, if you don't really focus on the alignment and you're taking all of those deals, that's going to bite you in the ass, isn't it? What is your perspective on it?
Yeah, we have a reputation. Like we don't work with people that we know we can't help or that aren't a good fit. And I've turned people down and I fired clients before. Very early on, when we were just taking anybody, we established pretty quickly within 6 months to a year who we want to work with and who we don't want to work with. What are the attitudes that we want to work with and what are the attitudes we don't want to work with? And as we have grown our company, one of our core values is to make sure that everybody's taken care of and that we're honest with our clients. And honesty is when we make mistakes, we own up to them, but also when they're not a good fit, we own up to that. And we have a process for getting rid of clients that aren't a good fit.
Sure. Well said. Beautiful said. Love it. Now, Scott, you already know this. On Founders Future, this is a business podcast at the end of the day. So we love to talk anything regarding marketing, sales, operations, strategy, and really build up some value for the listeners. So what I would also love to discuss is the back end side of the business and how all of this even works. So when it comes to you directly, having the ability to really get in front of those right people and onboard new clients into these programs and impact their lives and their strategies. What is it that you do on the front of marketing and maybe specifically lead gen for yourself to make this happen?
Yeah, so traditionally, our results speak for themselves, and so we haven't had to do much marketing in the past. Generally, it's I'll share client wins on social media, and then I'll get leads coming in, and then I will push marketing when we need to, meaning I'll make more social media posts about our success when I need to, and then if we're capped out or maxed out, then I'll taper off and I won't do as much. But I think this is like key to people who are in the agency space. It's like your results can be enough to drive millions of dollars of sales if you share them the right way. But you have to build a reputation that is honest and trustworthy and worthy of someone giving a referral of giving you a referral, referring their friends to you, referring their colleagues to you. We've run ads before in the past, and we're actually probably going to start firing up ads here again soon. The hardest part with ads that I found is that it becomes a numbers game. And so you lose touch with what your audience is looking for. My favorite leads are people who come from my warm marketing, but from my social
Mhm.
media posts. It's I get most of my leads come from Facebook, comes from me talking about our results and success on Facebook. I've gotten a few from LinkedIn, a number from YouTube, a number from Instagram. And it's generally always when I'm just sharing our wins and sharing like value and tactics of what we're doing and who we're working with. And I think that if you can build a seven-figure agency just simply with your warm organic marketing efforts. You don't need to branch out too much. But I'll say this, I've tried everything, and outside of organic, the best thing that we did for a company was run Facebook ads to a targeted market. So
Did you
there you
do
go.
like meta ads combining
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram, or what was the approach? I got you. Now, if there is
Yeah.
anybody listening to this right now, maybe already being a part of your industry or just trying to get in, when you look at the strategy that you implemented for running meta ads, what was the objective? Or what would you advise people to do or look into to basically get into this and start seeing some return on the investment?
Our highest converting ad was a video that we played on Facebook and on Instagram. And it was a 3-minute breakdown of our entire process from start to finish. Here's what we do. When you come into our business, call to action to whoever it is that we were targeting. I think mine was just like general business owners did XYZ. Anyway,
Mhm.
so for 3 minutes, I rewired their brain essentially with the ad to show them how beneficial YouTube is for their business. And then I walk them through the process of all of the things that we offer. And all of the things that we offer are generally like their biggest holdbacks, their objections to us. And so by the time they get to the end of the ad, they're like, oh, I'm sold on this because he answered all of my questions and diminished all my objections. And that was our highest converting ad. It's a fantastic ad.
Yeah, I'm glad that I asked you that question though, because what I see most of the time, even with people running actively ads, whether that's Meta, whether that's different social platform, it's just not really being that clear on what my offer is and
Yeah.
how I'm positioning myself. And you can see this even with people investing into ads, like 98% of them, there's just not enough clarity on what is it that I'm solving and how do I do it. So I feel like what do you think was the biggest help in terms of actually making those tweaks here and there and really getting very clear on how to present yourself and what the messaging is going to be like? Did you hire somebody externally or did you just take more time with it? What was the thought process?
Yeah, so we had an external ad buyer that we used who understood like the pain solution type of an approach. And that's really what we focus on. It's like we know our audience so well. We understand
Mhm.
because we've been working with them so long. We know exactly what their pains are. We know exactly what the solutions are to their problems. We know exactly what their objections are. And so before we even get them on a call, we try to make it as easy as possible on us by creating ads that alleviate their pain before they even get to to booking a call. And I think that comes obviously most marketers understand this, building an audience avatar, but it's also a second nature to us as well because every YouTube channel that we build does exactly the same thing. We know exactly what the pain points are of the audience, and so we can create content specifically for their need. And that's why we can convert with YouTube as well. Is we build out content strategies that take these audience members down this like pain solution journey. So it's like whenever they have a problem, they come back, watch another video, and that's another touch. And I think it's 27 touches on social media now until you get to a conversion. It's like if you can get
Yeah.
somebody to binge watch 27 of your videos or watch 27 of your videos over the next year, you're going to absolutely crush it when it comes to lead generation because these people are already warmed up. They know and trust you just from your content.
Yeah, I love this. Anybody listening to this right now, just rewind 2 minutes back, listen again. Great advice. Beautiful. Now, Scott, obviously there is so much activities that we really need to do on the front of content, staying engaged with your audience, really communicating with those people, but also being creative with the content. It just takes a lot of time. And also looking at the cycle that the clients go through, really getting to the next step, which is basically converting them into a paying client. There's just a lot. So my question now is, what is your philosophy when it comes to delegation and letting other people join the ecosystem that you're building? Have you already built out your internal teams, whether that's for marketing, sales, any other department, or is it possibly a plan for the future?
We have a team of 20 people on staff, and we
Oof.
have closers that we use for our sales calls. I generally take our sales calls because we're not really looking to scale and grow, and so our closers don't get a lot of at bats. They don't get a lot of opportunity to talk to people, and so it's we're not quite the way that I've built the business has been like we want to control the results that we have, and so we're very selective with who we
Mhm.
let in, and generally that comes down to me. As far as operations go, we've built custom GPTs and AI tools for virtually everything. So you could step into our business as a zero qualified project manager and know almost essentially how to create a 1 million subscriber strategy for a client just by using our tools that we've built out internally. And we're building more and more tools every day. Every time we see a problem that we have, I'm building an AI tool around it. So all of our SOPs are built around AI systems. And it's been very helpful. My job went from 50 hours a week to of grinding to probably 10 to 15 hours a week right now because of the AI systems we put in place.
Well, isn't that the dream? Isn't that the end goal? Yeah,
It's
Scott,
good.
let me ask you this though. I feel like you're a very honest person, so I can challenge you, I can ask you,
Sure.
but I'm very curious about your thought process on the future of the company. Because based on the conversation so far, it really looks like you've put yourself in a position where you really build the right fundamentals that allow you to scale. You have the people, you have the systems, you have 100% confidence in your ability to basically follow up on your promises and those deliverables. But at the same time, this decision to not scale further is very intentional. I'm curious, what is the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, I think that I'm 41 years old. I've got 4 kids. My oldest is married. But everything that I have to do, everything that I do comes down to, is this good for my family? Do I operate with integrity? Of course, I can scale a business using Walmart systems that produce a Walmart result, meaning it's really easy to market and get a whole bunch of people coming in. But if my success rate drops from where it's at now, then our reputation of our company it loses. And I've been doing this for 6 years, and I recognize like where the constraints are in running a business like this. And a lot of times it comes down to finding the right people in the strategy department. There are a handful of strategists that are in the YouTube space that can operate at the level that I do. And you probably have, if you've heard of, you probably throw out some names, and those are the people who are most recognizable. And those are the people who are my colleagues and peers. And they'll all tell you exactly the same thing. It's very difficult to scale YouTube strategy because there just aren't enough people who understand YouTube as completely as we do. So in order for us to
Mm,
maintain our success rate, we can't accept 100 clients. It just it would be the end of our company and our reputation. So we have to slowly, incrementally increase by creating more systems, but we also have to make sure that the systems that we're putting into place are working, and we scale too fast, everything could break.
Gotcha. So this is basically in regards to the fulfillment side of the business and really having other coaches who have this amount of knowledge that could actually deliver the results.
100%. Yep. Yeah. So
Interesting.
fulfillment has constraints. Now, I have other businesses that I operate that don't have those constraints that we're building very intentionally different so that way we can scale them to the point where we have thousands of people in the business, thousands of customers in the business that don't require what where we don't have as many constraints around strategy.
Mhm.
Systems can operate that better.
This makes a lot of sense, man. Thank you for walking us through that. It's very it's always interesting to me to see that even people who are like in various different industries, you could be doing this business for 15 years, but you're never going to be in a position where you have it all figured out. There's always something that you need to be asking yourself and really trying to think of the ways to overcome different bottlenecks, right? Isn't that the case? But that's like true entrepreneurship. That's what the journey looks like. So I love that. Now, Scott, in terms of the future, you just gave us a little sneak peek. Obviously, there is something else happening that is exciting to you, building other businesses as well. If you want to, you're more than welcome to mention what it is. But really talking about the future of this company in particular, maybe the next 12 months, like the short-term goals. What is that? What is really the biggest goals, targets, revenue, milestones that you have set for yourself?
Yeah, I think that the next goals for Graffiti are to yeah, I think incrementally scale. And while we're trying to solve for this strategist problem that we've had for the last 6 years, it's something I've been working on for the last couple of years. And I think that we're getting close with AI systems, which could open the doors to more faster scaling, more
Hmm.
clientele. So I think that's the main goal here is to just really keep working on these systems to see if we can get them to work in a way that maintains our reputation, but also allows us the freedom to increase the number of clientele that we take on. That's primary goal for 2026 is really get that dialed in. If we do, then I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to double or even triple our revenue in the next 18 months, which would be fantastic. But in the meantime, I'm focused very heavily on our second business, which is AI Marketing World, which is our annual conference here in Dallas. We just had our last one in October. We had an upsell to a we call micro SaaS lab. So basically, people come to a second event where they're able to build a micro SaaS tool in 72 hours, and
Oh,
that's
wow.
great. My focus is obviously I've got a number of partners. My focus specifically in this business is AI solutions for content creation, so it doesn't deviate too far from what I'm already doing. And that was a success over the last 6 months. And we think 2026 could be even more mind blowing. So should be a good year for AI marketing world.
Yeah. This hasn't been a long journey though. Even with this first business, I think you mentioned it's been like 6 years. But considering the amount of success that you've already had and all those goals that you have for the future, considering everything possible, what would you say that is going to become the biggest challenge for you to keep scaling and growing these companies in the future?
Biggest challenge. It's time. It's time. And I think
You need
that
to clone yourself.
eh, I have a couple AI tools that get pretty close with
Yeah.
certain aspects of what I do. But I'm also, again, like my oldest daughter was just married. I'm more focused on business and creating systems that allow me to step back and have the systems run the business. And I think that my drive that I had even 10 years ago has shifted from grow, make millions and millions of dollars to what am I spending this on and who am I? What is the bigger picture at play? And the bigger picture at play is family. It's family and impact. And it's hard for a lot of entrepreneurs to get that. Every entrepreneur gets to that point, or I'd say most entrepreneurs get to that point at some point because the things that you focus on shift. You find importance in different areas. I got sick last year. I was ended up in the hospital with pneumonia, and the doctors were like, "You could have died." And that was an eye-opening moment for me. I was probably 30 pounds overweight and just grinding all the time, very stressed. And I got out and I'm like, I got to make some changes. I work out every day. I've reduced the amount of time that I work in the business, spend more time with my family. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So it's if you think really
Yeah,
hard about why you're doing something, I think you'll put your heart and your mind in the right place and focus on things that actually matter.
I love that. Scott, before I let you go, I'm going to ask you one of my favorite questions ever.
Yeah.
Considering you've been in the business for quite some time now, if you could travel back though, maybe to the very beginning of your journey as an entrepreneur, what would be the best piece of advice that you would give yourself?
Stay consistent. Stay consistent, focus on one thing and see it through. Every time you shift, it requires another reset of the 10,000 hour rule. And when you stay focused on one niche, one topic, one brand, one offer, like you will get to the point where in a year, 12 months, 18 months, you'll figure out how to turn that into a multi-million dollar operation. But if you're looking to the left and to the right and you're constantly jumping, and trying to, hey, that guy over there is doing e-com and this guy over here is doing coaching and this guy over here has got a low ticket funnel. You're resetting the amount of time it takes to be successful every time you do that. So lock in, stay consistent, and you'll be successful within a year, 18 months.
Yeah, consistency really is the key. And
Yeah.
some people really feel like that's a cliche at this point, but yeah, it is the key though. Scott, listen, this has been a great conversation. I would love to continue, but we have limited time here. Maybe you're going to be on a part two, maybe in a year's time, just to revisit the journey, see where you took the business. But let me thank you for taking the time today, sharing the story with me and the audience. I really appreciate your time. And if anybody from the listeners would like to get in touch with you, perhaps even work with you one day, what is the best way to go about it?
Instagram, just come follow me on Instagram. Instagram, it's I am Scott Simson, and there's no P in Simpson. So it's SIMSON. I'm Scott Simson.
Love it. Thank you again, man. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, brother.
Love
Appreciate you.
it. Now, to our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or a coach, or you have an agency and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closers.io, get in touch with our team, and discover how exactly we scaled our company from 0 to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on crushing it, and I'll see you on the next one.